All right, we're at the American Century Championship Edgewood Tahoe Golf Tournament with the GOAT, Jerry Rice.
You the GOAT, man. You the GOAT.
Well, thank you. But I think probably you deserve that title a little bit more than me.
You know, it's just great being back here again.
Yeah.
You know, the hospitality, the fans come out, they support us. You see some good golf, you see some bad golf.
I saw the
But-
guy on the range next to you.
Yeah, I was just looking at him. I was trying to give him some support. He was trying to get the ball in the air and just kept, mishitting the
I was
golf ball.
afraid for you because he's a lefty, and I could see that ball
Yeah.
was kind of slicing off there to you.
Yeah, that's why I was keeping an eye on him.
Yeah.
And, my fellow teammate is so weird because Steve is a lefty when it comes to throwing the ball, but he plays golf as a righty.
Yeah. What do you make of that?
I don't know. He's just all messed up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He can't make his mind up. You know what I'm saying? He probably can go both ways.
Well, I just saw you out there catching passes. Now, it looks like you can't make your mind up. Are you a receiver or a quarterback? Because you're throwing a nice
No. You know what? I know I'm not a quarterback because that duck. Did you see that duck I threw, man?
I wasn't going to make it.
Yeah, for some reason I have this little catch in my arm, but it doesn't bother me when I'm hitting golf balls and doing all that. But I'm gonna have to start lifting on this just a little bit more.
Well, you talk about being out here again, and saw you with Steph Curry. Well, what's it like? What kind of relationship do two of the all-time greats, Bay Area? What do you think of him, and how have you gotten to know him through the years?
Man, Steph Curry is just an amazing individual, but the way he plays, the way he's conducts himself off the field, also he does everything right. And when it comes to golf, his ball striking is incredible, and all the Currys they just hit it long, man. I'm glad I'm not playing in that group. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like when you got someone blowing the ball by you like 20 yards, you're going to have the tendency to try to swing a little bit harder. And, I'm just watching them hit the ball, man, and they can hit it far. But Steph is the ultimate, and he can do it all.
Yeah. I see the chain you have. Is there a story behind that?
Yeah, I had this fan to actually give me this chain. Because I go to ball games and I take the time to take pictures and sign autographs and do all that. And this person brought this chain for me, and I've been wearing it ever since. So I'm always there, supporting the team and also giving back to the fans.
Yeah. Well, the 49ers team that originated in 1946. This is 2026, which means 80 years.
Okay.
And
80.
You can't think about the 49ers and the number 80 without thinking of you, number 80. So how do you view kind of your place in history and just what the 49ers have meant to you?
How do I view myself in history? Just being part of a chain. And I never wanted to be a weak link in that chain. And, I wanted to lead by example. The way I take the field, always the first one on the field, the last one to leave the field. So, when they think about me, I just want them to think about work ethic.
Yeah.
Just putting it in on the field. Then when you get the opportunity during a ball game, making that play. And I can still think about some of the plays I didn't make. And I have made a lot of plays, but those still are like in the back of my head. And I'm gonna take you to one. I think it was early part of my career. We were playing the Giants in the Meadowlands, and I caught a slant, and I was off to the races, and all of a sudden the ball popped out, and it was rolling on the surface, and I tried to pick the ball up, and I couldn't recover the ball. And that right there still lingers in my head, because after that, the Giants got the momentum and they ended up winning that game. So, things like that still there. No, because when the ball is in your possession, you got to protect the football. And, Bill Walsh always talked about highs and lows. And, there's going to be a time when you need to make a play. And that was the time I actually needed to make that play.
Through the years, I've seen so many guys who are really good in practice, and they just don't do it in the game. With training camp, great training camp, but it just doesn't carry over into the regular season. I've often said this about you. You were the greatest practice player I've ever seen, but also the greatest player, period, I've ever seen. How mentally and physically exhausting was it to be Jerry Rice and put so much into everything you did?
When you're doing something that you really love doing, you don't get tired. I love entertaining, so many people. If you paid your money to come to a football game, I wanted to witness something special. The way I practice, I needed that because I knew if I did it during practice, then it was going to happen during the game. So I had to see it. I had to see that. I had to have that visual of making that catch or, grabbing the ball and sprinting 60, 80 yards and scoring. So I needed to see that. I needed to get that in my head. Then once I got in the ball game, I had done it over and over, and I knew I could make that play.
Yeah. Well, as I mentioned, 49ers, the long history, and here they are again.
Yeah, here we go.
Coming up on another season with a really good roster. There are a couple of teams in their division with really good rosters too, but just how do you feel about where the 49ers are set up right now entering this season?
I feel really good. I think they, with Mike Evans coming on board, what a great leader. I had the opportunity to meet him, and he's just such a good individual, and he works hard. And the players, they're going to get a chance to probably see a Hall of Famer, and he's going to work his butt off every day. I think this is the year for the Niners. I certainly hope so, and it's going to be up to those players to go out there and get it done. But it starts real soon, and I remember I was just like a horse in the Kentucky Derby. I sort of always knew when it was time. And, those horses, they know when it's time to race. Yeah, and I think the Niners, they probably feel the same way. So this got to be a big year for them.
How did you get to meet Mike Evans?
I got to meet him in a commercial. Then, I would follow him because I think we both had seasons where we had over 1,000 yards for 11 or 13 times or something like that. And it was just unfortunate that he got hurt because he had a great chance of breaking my record. And if anybody was going to break my record, I would have loved for him to do it.
So how do you see him and that skill set, that size, everything else, the professionalism fitting into the 49ers offense?
Just throw it up because he got that big frame. He's going to be able to go up and attack the football. So once you're in the end zone, just throw that thing up, like alley-oop back in the day. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Just throw it up and let him go get it. And he's capable of doing that.
And in the draft, we're surprised some people, but it all makes sense once you really dig into Dejon Stribling, 33rd overall pick. He's got the size, the speed, the hands, the blocking, the run after the catch. Have you had a chance to really look at him?
No, but man, they said he's big, he's fast, and I can't wait to see him on the football field. And just go to work. And what a great leader he can follow the greatness of Mike Evans, because he's going to see how this guy works every day, and after he been in the league for a long time. And not saying that he's not a hard worker, but he got the perfect example with Mike Evans.
Through the years, I know you go to games, you're around a lot. Are there some guys that really reach out to you, current players who want to pick your brain? Like, how do you make yourself accessible to those players?
Well, I'm always available. Anybody can approach me if they want to ask me something, but I don't force myself on anyone. It's a different era, and I never felt like I was one of the greatest, so I just felt like I had to outwork everyone else, and I was willing to sacrifice and put that work in. And I just knew that, hey, look, I got a lot of people relying on me. like the fans of San Francisco, and I never wanted to let them down.
Do you still run the hill?
I can still do it, but I do a lot of Peloton. I do a lot of CrossFit, and I'm down to about, I think I'm like 189, 190.
Whoa, what'd you play at?
I went back and forth because when I felt like defensive backs, when they were like more physical, I wanted to put on more muscle and I wanted to put on more size. So I would play around 200 something. But when I wanted to run all day, I was like 189, 190. It was like I was going to wear your butt out. And it was just no way you were going to keep up with me.
Yeah. I mentioned the hill. I know, you were a good influence on Roger. Roger Craig was a good influence on you. What does it mean to you to see Roger finally going into the Pro Football Hall of Fame?
This is so exciting. I've been waiting for Roger. He was the first 1,000. The high knee action, how he used to punish defenders. And he really introduced me to the hill also. And the first day I went to the hill, I got to the top, but for some reason, it hurts so bad that I didn't go back the next time. And I just knew I had to get back to that hill and conquer that hill again. But Roger, I'm glad to see him get into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. We're going to have a great time. I'm sure Eddie DeBarlo is going to be there and throw a big party. So it's going to be a big celebration.
Yeah, I mean, in a lot of ways, the football season for the Friars starts then, right, with Roger going into the Hall of Fame. And then, of course, a long season ahead. So should be a fun year.
Yeah, I'm looking for a fun year. I'm looking for the Niners to make a statement. They have a very good team now. Now it's all about.
What's that statement? What's that statement they have to make?
That statement is to win it all. I mean, we back in the day, it was just not good just to get to the playoffs. We had to win the whole thing, and if we didn't win the whole thing, it was a disappointing season. So it's going to be up to that locker room. It's going to be up to all of those guys to come together as a cohesive group and start talking about this during training camp. Don't wait till the season. And, let the guys know that there's high expectations and let's go get it.
All right, Jerry Rice. Hey, thanks so much.
Thank you.